So what's going on, man?
Alright, so I'm in Germany right now.
Okay.
And I'm about to do a set tonight with Archie Shep, which is a blessing. Just doing Attica Blues. It's just a blessing. As you know, I got a place in Paris.
Yeah.
I've been getting settled there over the last year. So, yeah, this is a heavy one. Let me say this too, though, man. None of this stuff is separated. Everything from Tamir Rice to the Paris shootings to what's happening to the students at University of Missouri to what's happening in Wits to what I've been experiencing in the negative in South Africa. It's all connected, bro. It's all the same thing.
Word.
It's just these forces, right, that are looking to just turn the world into a brutal place and to turn people into machines. And it's two things, man, that I want you to spread out. And I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Instagram and all that stuff, and I appreciate people like you who are using the platform for some good things. But I need everybody. I need anybody with a Twitter account, Facebook, whatever. This is the time to be talking about the dignity and nobility of being a human being. Not a machine, not a puppet of the state, of your own desires, right? But for the sanctity and divinity and nobility of being a human being, because this is what's really at stake. They're trying to turn us into machines or just high-functioning mammals, animals, beasts in a jungle that they create. The states, the politicians, the so-called doers of good who claim to have the interest of the planet at heart, and it's a lie, and it's proven itself to be more and more of a lie every day, right? People give all of this trust to the state, but the state hates the people. It is suspicious of people, and it's only there to use people for their benefit and leave people shadows and husks of themselves. This is what these Paris attacks were about. And by the way, a big giant fuck off to ISIS. You don't represent nothing about Islam or nothing about the Prophet. And another giant fuck off to everybody who's trying to say, see, this is Islam's fault. Islam ain't had nothing to do with colonialism or white power or none of that. And neither does Christianity and none of that stuff. And people try to use these beautiful faiths to justify their nonsense and bullshit is just as much as charlatans and posers as the mall rats walking around with skateboards. You're lying. You don't represent nothing. You represent yourself. You represent bloodlust. You've been paid and bought for by people who want to turn this God's gift, this spaceship Earth, into a hell and a cell. You don't represent nobody. You ain't out here for the common good. You out here for you. And your small little narrow-minded, bigoted, dumbass beliefs. It ain't nothing to do with the greater good. You ain't helping nobody. You ain't for the Muslims. You ain't for nobody. You're a hazard to everybody. Stop trying to claim us like you're here for us. You're not. It's not what the Prophet was about. The last words in the Quran were "Alaykum dinikum waliyadin." To you be your way, and to me be mine. But I'm not here to defend the sanctity of Islam. That's not what I'm talking about. We are human beings. This spaceship, we all on the same spaceship. We all here together, man. I read these comments on this damn internet, these comment pages, man. People are treating each other so poorly, bro. People don't know how to disagree even, man. That's the measure of a a civilization, brother. Not how well you agree, but how well do you disagree. That's civilized.
Wow.
What world are we leaving to our children? What examples are we leaving to our children, man? Everybody needs to read this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Post it up, put it on your Twitter, everybody. And Charlie Chaplin's speech from the great dictator. We talk of each other's happiness, not each other's misery. We talk of each other's happiness, not each other's misery. And this is misery, bruh. That they just heaping and heaping on the world. The state kills the children and say that they justify murdering children. They kill unarmed people and say that they justify them doing it. I need everybody who's sad about Paris to be just as sad and angry about Tamir Rice. Now, all of these young, innocent people dying over nothing. Dying over somebody's greed, dying over their antiquated, backwards ass beliefs that they're more human than somebody else. Cry for them. And be outraged for them. And let the UN acknowledge the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a law. Because furthermore, what Holland is talking about doing, closing the borders, how are you going to put innocent people under suspicion for crimes that they did not commit? Closing these borders does not bring back any of them dead people. Not one of them.
Right.
And if it's all about prevention, that's nonsense. I don't think Francois Hollande cared any more about the Parisian people than ISIS.
Right.
I really don't. Their response, as usual, is to throw people into more panic, more frenzy. There's nothing wise about these type of responses. It's all meant to just get you into a reactionary phase and to start viewing your brothers and sisters, your human brothers and sisters, with suspicion.
Right.
And hatred and judgment, man. We have to start loving and caring about one another, because guess what? If we did, this shit would not be going on. And we have trusted these people who say that they love us and say that they're here for us in the names of the state and the government and democracy and the presidency, the Congress, the Senate, and everything else. We have trusted them too much. They're sickening us, they're destroying our world, and they're destroying the future for our children. We cannot just idly stand by and get into these nonsense Bill O'Reilly back and forth exchanges with each other just to prove how clever we are, or to win a debate that don't change nothing of the conditions that we are all experiencing. I don't care who you are or where you are, white, black, rich, poor, Jew, Gentile, you are feeling it on this planet Earth today. And mind you, the people playing these games don't know exactly what they're doing. There was a new moon this week. Okay? They're trying to put some poison onto this world. They're trying to set their intentions to turn this world into a cell with everything that they're doing. And they got all of us scrambling around arguing. Are you on the left? Are you on the right? Are you conservative? Are you a liberal? It's nonsense. You know what? It's like Dave Chappelle said when they asked him, they said, who's going to win between Pacquiao and Mayweather? He said the promoters.
Right. Exactly.
That's what's happening. They promote this conflict everywhere. It's Muslims versus the Christians. It's the heterosexuals versus the homosexuals. It's the women versus men. It's youth versus the elders. Right? It's man versus nature. It's always a fight, but there's always somebody or some small group that make money no matter what the outcome is. And they promote conflict. They don't promote harmony. They don't promote peace. They say that, like my grandmother said, they say peace, 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 but they really got evil, wicked intentions in their heart. They want to control people. They want to control what you think, how you think, what you say, where you say it, who you say it to. Read that Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Read it. Post it up. People need to see it. Need to see how the majority of the governments in this world are breaking every part of that agreement.
Right.
If People say, oh, it's not, it's just something to be written down. Well, if it's a standard that's supposed to be the benchmark for how we're supposed to behave as a civilization and how states are supposed to behave with their members, or how they're supposed to behave with each other, then they have failed. They are failing, and they're actually committing illegal acts. And people don't have enough knowledge of the law.
Brother,
they need to learn the law. They need to learn what the real law is, what international law is. They need to stand up for their rights. They're taking all of our power away from us and using it against us to destroy us.
I see that. I was most frustrated at the fact of, we've seen this over and over and over. Certain things are deemed terrorism, and it's the worst thing in the world, and people have dependents and they light candles around the world and all of this, when we've been marching and crying and rolling in the street. Come on, for all this time.
He was born on June 25th, 2002. He was 12 years old.
And it keeps happening. It keeps happening.
Come on, man.
That we do need the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, but I fear that it's not us, you and our group, who we get along, who we see eye to eye with. We're not the ones.
Man, I ain't saying nobody, man. Fuck them all, man. Psalms 34, verse 4. I asked the Lord to deliver me, and He delivered me from all my fears. He delivers me from our fears. What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? What I'm really more afraid of than living in the world that they are proposing for us through these type of actions. For my sons and my daughters to have to live in a world where they got to negotiate a relationship with beasts disguised as human beings. And if you're going to be outraged about what they did at the Bataclan, by the way, people can shut the fuck up. I live in Paris. I performed at the Bataclan. One of my dear friends lost somebody. I don't know who. I don't know who I lost in that personally.
I feel you, bro.
I wish my French was better. I would speak directly in French to the French people, man. Listen, man. Don't be hustled, human beings. Don't be hustled. Don't let them make you think that they care about you. Yeah, Obama was right. This is an attack against humanity. And so is it when Tamir Rice gets shot by the police and the state say that they was justified.
Right.
So is everything that's happening at the University of Missouri. So is Japan's not telling the world the truth about Fukushima.
Right.
That's tyranny too. So is everybody else acting like Fukushima is not a problem for the earth, like all of the oceans ain't connected, like that radioactive dust is not showing up on the shores of Canada right now, like it's not showing up on the shores of California beaches, like it ain't two-headed daisies out here. Like tyranny is tyranny. Period.
Right. Drone
tyranny is tyranny. If we're going to be against tyranny, we got to be against it wherever it's at. But it makes me think of that saying that my dad used to say to me. He said, the government is tough on crime because they don't like competition. Okay?
Wow.
Now, it's some bullshit when somebody else who's not licensed, like James Bond or some shit, go out here and kill somebody.
Right.
But when they got on a uniform, it's cool. Which says to the sick-minded people of the world, if I want to kill, I need to go get out here and get registered
and
licensed to kill. So I get me a uniform with one of these state appendages, whether it be the police or the military, and I'll subvert all of my murder impulses into that. I'll just aim it at whoever they tell me to aim it at.
Right.
Because I was sitting here waiting for an excuse to kill somebody anyway. And what do they expect? What type of society you trying to build, civilization you trying to build? Yeah, it is a trickle-down theory. The state run around killing people, so the people's like, murder must be all right. I'm not justifying that, but that's what's happening.
That's the thinking behind it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who is more violent than the state against humanity? See, people feel it when it's a couple of hundred people that they can look at and see, but nobody feel it when it's half a million Iraqi kids that die from sanctions, right? Or when it's the people going through hell in Palestine. But it's got more of a premium when it's some people, you know, in a smaller group, just out trying to enjoy a Friday night. Didn't you feel it?
Right.
Or when it happened to you, because them kids in Palestine, they ain't you, and that's their own fault. See, it's showing even a media response. And don't trust the media neither, because they're not there to give you the truth and make you feel balanced or tell you the facts. They want you to feel nervous so that you will trust the state more, so that it would endorse and gratify their power and really control over your life. And ultimately, so you can end up being nervous, and your cathartic response is to go to the arcade, the mall, the titty club, wherever, just to offload some of that, to offload all that negative feelings.
Right.
That's what they want. They want to keep it stirred up. This is a rating bonanza for all of these quote-unquote news media people. They know people's eyes is glued to the screen. They in shock. They in awe. They hurt. Like I'm hurt right now. And in the interim, they're going to try to sell you every widget and digit and every other useless damn thing that you can imagine. Because they got you. You're captive. It's an old axiom in news. If it bleeds, it leads. So what they got to do, they got to make sure that people stay bleeding.
Wow.
But see, Psalms 34, verse 4, I asked the Lord to deliver me. He delivered me from all my fears. And this quote is saying in the Quran too, we will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. You are not going to get a better world hating your fellow man. You can hate the condition, but you have to love your brother and sister. As corny as it sounds, as clever as niggas are, as edgy as they want to be, got a chip on your shoulder because it's fashionable. It's you know, that's in style. It's very in vogue to be melancholy and moody and edgy and curmudgeonly, right?
Yeah.
But love, man. Love must and will prevail. I don't care how corny it sounds. I ain't trying to win no swag wars. Who cares, man? The world has been in a state of emergency. And I hope that these type of things make people wake up, man. We can treat each other like this, man. If you just get rid of them, they're just going to be gone. The problem is not Islam. The problem ain't organized religion, patriarchy, all of these. The problem is all of these things that have dysfunctions to them, or people who dysfunction within them, these systems, right? The problem is people's lack of compassion and care for themselves and for their fellow human beings. And that's what gets all of this nonsense going. We don't treat each other well. We need to treat each other better than what we're doing. And we need to stop giving our allegiance to people who are mistreating us. And the governments, particularly the U.S. government, many of the Western governments, they are mistreating their own citizens and people around the world. And they have a long legacy of this. And it has to stop.
Right on.
Has to stop. It's illegal to deny access to this planet Earth to anybody. We are all on this spaceship. I don't want to hear a motherfucking another thing about Mars.
Right.
We don't deserve Mars if we can't do right by Earth. We don't deserve it. Shut the fuck up about Mars and do right by Earth. You wouldn't have to fucking go to Mars. By the way, we're already in outer space with you clever asses. We're already here.
Right.
On this spaceship Earth, propelling, spinning all the time. Everything that we need is here. I don't want to hear nothing about colonizing, nothing else. No more fucking colonial fictions and fantasies. Earth is sufficient. But if we don't do right by each other, we will eliminate ourselves, the trees, the oceans, the mountains. They don't give a fat baby's ass. They will continue to go on as they've been. we will eliminate ourselves. Please don't make Bill Gates right. This is sounding like some Gates man that need to thin out the herd. You got fucking radioactive Fukushima over here, police running crazy everywhere. And I was walking around in Paris just this summer. I'm like, wow, these people on the streets with motherfucking AK-47s and all that shit. That don't make me feel secure.
Right. Wow.
They're trying to drive people into a state of high stress so people don't have the space to really slow it down, love themselves, and love one another, and work their problems out for themselves, because guess what? We got the answers within us. Why these ugly knuckleheads with ties and lifelong pensions representing the people? You don't represent the people. You represent yourself. You represent the banks. You represent the corporations. You represent the niggas that keep the tanks running around the world, crushing people, digging resources out of the earth to mold them into guns that murder. Talking about we making the world safer. You're destroying the world. The world that we all got to share. And they're so dumb that they think they're going to build some high fence where they can dominate the world from a striking safe distance, and they won't be in misery. Let me tell you what my grandfather used to tell me. He used to tell all of us that to keep a man in the hole, you got to get in that hole with him.
Wow.
Some part of you is in that hole. If you're trying to keep him in that hole, some part of your mind and your spirit is right there in that hole with him. Whoever you digging a hole for, you really digging it for yourself.